Thanks, Ben. Tax season is here, which means it's time to crunch those numbers all over again. The UNCW IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, also known as VITA, is also offering free tax assistance for qualified students. The VITA program offers free tax aid for low to moderate income people, and simple tax returns will be done free of charge in Cameron Hall, room 231. The program will take place on April 7th from 4 to 7 p.m., April 8th from 2 to 6 p.m., and April 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. For more information, please call 910-962-3509.
We've got two student reporters ready to give us their movie analysis on the latest big screen updates. Here's Chris Vickery with Critics on Campus.
Thanks, Janae. Welcome everyone to Critics on Campus, where we review the latest movies in the Wilmington area. I'm your host, Chris Vickery, alongside my co-host for the day, Chris Kane. We reviewed two movies this week. The first is Sucker Punch. The second is Battle LA. So let's get your feelings on the first one, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch? I thought visually it was excellent, but story-wise, it really suffered.
Yeah, I agree. It was it was a movie that tried to be something more than just eye candy, and it shouldn't have been.
Absolutely. I mean, I could really see it was really close to 300 as far as action. Definitely a full action piece, but it tried to have depth, and it just didn't succeed. They tried to write a story in 3 different levels, and in reality, all it was cute girls and machine guns and nothing else. And
it was something that could have been, if it was explored more deeply,
Absolutely.
It could have been 3 good movies individually. Each of the levels could have been good. Both the insane asylum, the brothel, and the fantasy world.
Right.
They could have been good movies in their own right.
Right.
But in the end, all of them fell up short because they weren't the focus of the entire film.
And in all those 3 levels, it felt like they established what is a story and just did not finish in each of them. So now we're just tossed in this whirlwind of girls and machine guns, and they're in an asylum, and that was all we got out of it. There was no beginning, middle, and end, and
the dialogue played out like a teenage slumber party.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was nothing. It tried to have heart, and the lines were just scattered and thrown and not thought through. The characters didn't have heart in it. There was nothing appealing about the story whatsoever.
And it was disappointing for Zack Snyder's first original script. He didn't write it, but it was the first original story he had done, and I think people were expecting a lot more from the guy that did The Watchmen and 300 and
Absolutely. And
Guardians
it just
of the
wasn't there. I mean, I can see this being a background movie in somebody's apartment just when they're having people over, but to go see it and expect anything out of it,
other than just eye candy.
Other than eye candy. And even the eye candy, it was stuff that we've seen before. Again, I referenced 300. We have fight scenes that are sped up, slowed down. We have the bullet out of the chamber, the Matrix.
Right.
Nothing new and original to this movie.
And it played like a PlayStation game.
And it played like a PlayStation game. Not only did it play like one, but the CG, it looked like I had the console on, and even their choreography looked like a Street Fighter video game.
Right, it did, indeed. So if you have to give it a rating out of 5 stars.
Out of 5 stars?
Out of 5 stars, what do you give this one?
I say 2.
2?
Only because if you're in the mood, it is going to be an entertaining movie to see. But if you're expecting anything other than machine guns and cute girls running around, it's not the movie for you. So I go with 2 stars on this. What about you, Chris?
I'd give it a 1.5 stars just because it really, it made me kind of sick listening to those girls talk. I was fine watching them, but listening to them talk was hard. Now, the second, Battle LA, I know you hated this one more than I did.
Didn't like
and
it.
I didn't hate it as much as I didn't like Sucker Punch.
I'm vice versa on that, 100%. I had a really high standard going into Battle LA. Just to reference, I kind of put it in a genre to compare it to Cloverfield and also District 9. This is another alien invasion.
And a lot of aspects of Independence Day, too, I think.
A lot of aspects of Independence Day. I mean, going into it, the first few minutes, it's shot like a Saving Private Ryan or a Black Hawk Down. So if you're a military movie fan, if you're into war movies, it has that element, just too much. It was too much to ask for.
Right.
I was really going into it thinking that all these other movies, I don't get that action scene. We need a little more action, and the entire thing is action. There is absolutely no storyline yet again with this film.
I have to agree with you there. Although it did have a plot, whereas Sucker Punch felt like it was going nowhere, there was an A to B to C progression in Battle LA. Like, fight here, move to here, fight here, move to here, fight here. Sucker Punch was so all over the map.
Would you consider that a plot, or is it was just an objective for the characters? That was the only build I think I had in that movie on the characters. I was not emotionally attached to any of these people. They tried, and I think, again, they failed with the characterization of this film.
And I agree with you, but I think that the fact that there was a clear purpose that we could follow the characters in immediately makes it an easier movie to watch than Sucker Punch.
They were given a mission to accomplish and also survive.
And you knew what it was.
And
the interesting thing is it plays like an extended military commercial.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a poster for United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
100%. Everything about it.
Yep.
We don't give up. All the corny movie lines that they were all in there. 80s movie lines. That was the only lines they had in this film.
And it was one you could turn your brain off to, but not something I'll remember a week from now.
I remember the performances in Battle LA more so than Sucker Punch. As far as you have Aaron Eckhart, he's not to me the best action hero. I didn't find him a very strong hero at all. And then of course we have Michelle Rodriguez again, playing Michelle Rodriguez in every sci-fi action movie, which kind of gets on my nerves.
Right.
It's time for a new female lead in these action movies.
Right, and I agree. But if you have to rate this one out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
I'm going to go again with 2.
I'll agree with you on the 2 there. It's not something I'll remember a week from now.
No, absolutely not. Very forgettable movie. Probably will never purchase the DVD.
Probably not. Well, that's all for this week. This segment was brought to you by Carmike Cinemas. Stay tuned next time for more reviews of the latest movies coming to the big screen. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Vickery, alongside Chris Kane. See you next time.
Thanks, Chris. That wraps it up for this edition of Seahawk Central News. Special thanks to the Communications Studies Department, UNCW-TV, and the Wilmington Costco for making our show a reality.
Even more thanks to Bill Denome, Joe Browning, and Dustin Miller. Check out the latest edition of the Seahawk at newsstands all over campus. Remember, you can keep up with Seahawk Central News by stopping by youtube.com/tealtv2010.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with more campus news. Until then, I'm Janae Randall.
And I'm Sarah Lively saying, so long, Seahawks.